In the superposition theorem, till now we learned how to make the color coding and what are the components required in the last video. Now we are going to see what is meant by superposition theorem and how we are going to execute it practically. So in the superposition theorem, so first we should know that the statement when minimum of two sources, you can see here there must be two sources. So first of all we should know that when we can apply superposition theorem and for what reason we are applying superposition theorem. So first I will give a just brief of it. So what is meant by superposition theorem? You can see when there is a two sources acting. Okay, so number of steps can be like if two sources are acting, in 3 steps we can finish up the verification. And if 3 sources are acting, in 4 steps we can finish up the verification. So according to that, you can see in the circuit diagram, a simple circuit is taken into consideration to verify the superposition theorem. So in that 1 kilo ohm resistor, we can see the 3 different kinds of resistors: 1 kilo ohm, 1.5 kilo ohm, 2.2 kilo ohm. So we calculated previously 1 kilo ohm. Similarly, we can also calculate for 1.5 and 2.2, and we have identified the resistors and we have taken the resistors. So for 1.5, it is brown, black, black, brown, green, black, brown. Sorry, it's brown, green, black, brown. And coming to the 2.2, it is red, red, black, brown. So like this we have calculated the color coding and we have taken the 1.5, 2.2 kilo ohms resistor. So after taking the resistors, so this is a simple T network. If I hide this source 1 and source 2, we can see only a T-shaped network. These resistors are arranged in T shape. So for this simple T-shaped network, we are connecting 2 sources. In the first case, I am connecting 2 sources. And in the case 2, I am only connecting source 1 alone. That is, only source 1 is there. What about the source 2? As this is an ideal voltage source, we are replacing it with short circuit. When will be the voltage 0? In short circuit the voltage will be 0. So like we are connecting a wire from this terminal to this terminal means we are making a short circuit. When we made like this, what about our source 2 value? Source 2 value is going to become 0. So as it is a voltage source, we are making it 0 because we don't want to work our source 2 in this case, in the case 2. Similarly in the case 3, at this time the source 1 has to be made short circuited. Now if we can observe the response, or we can say response is nothing but current flowing through this 1 kilo ohm resistor in the case 2 and in the case 3, if you add these 2 together, whatever the response or whatever the reading in the ammeter in the case 2 and in the case 3 we are getting, if we add these 2 together, we should get the response we are getting in a source, case 1, when both the sources are working. So simply we can state that in any bilateral linear 2-terminal network containing active passive elements, like here you can see some resistors are passive elements and the sources are active elements. So the sources are giving the energy and resistors are consuming, or we can say they are drawing some current. So we know that all these basics. So from here we can see when these 2 sources are working, we are getting some response. Let's keep it aside. So we can see the tabular column in which we are noting down the practical values. So when let's say the source 1 is giving 5 volts, I am applying different voltage from different sources, from 2 sources. From source 1 I am applying 5 and from source 2 I am applying 10. So that I am getting current of 3.7 milliamperes. So to obtain it exactly, we are taking a 3 different readings. Like in the source 1 10 and source 2 15, I am getting 6.3 milliamperes. Similarly in third reading that I am taking, source 1 15, source 2 20, I am going to obtain 9.7 milliamperes. So this is when both the sources are working. So I am keeping aside, that is let Ix, I am assuming it as Ix. Now in the second step, when only source 1 is working, that is only source 1 is working, source 2 made removed, or we can say short circuited. So totally the source 2 effect is not there. Now only source 1 is working. So the current that you can see here 0 0 0, that means source 2 became 0. So source 1 is working, I got the currents that I am denoting it as Iy. Similarly in step 3, I am denoting them as Iz. So if I add Iy and Iz, I should get Ix. So that is what my verification of superposition theorem. I can see here 1.6 and 2.2. So this is approximately 3.8. So which is nearby our 3.7. So likewise, even if it is not same, approximately if it is same also, then it is okay. You can see here in the case in the second reading, that is 3.2 and 3.2, that is around 6.4. We got 6.3 in when both the sources are working. So likewise, we will verify for around 3 readings. So at least out of 3, we are going to get 1 reading equally. When we add these 2, we should get equal to the first step value. So for this, I am making connections to execute this experiment practically. See, I am taking single stud wires and I am connecting to positive of source 1. Okay, positive of source 1. And just I am taking the wires like that and just I am connecting. I am not making any circuit design. So just I am taking the connecting and I am connecting the wires to the terminals. So this has to be made on the breadboard. So just I am making the connections or just I am connecting the wires to the terminals. So here I am connecting to the source 2 positive and this one I am connecting to the source 2 negative. So this is going to be my source 2 negative. Okay, and similarly, and I am also just connecting the wires to my ammeter positive. You can see the red is always positive. Red denotes the positive and black denotes the negative. So here the negative of my ammeter. So now after making the connections, so now I am going to connect this circuit on the breadboard. So how I am going to connect, you can see here. So first in the circuit diagram, so first we are going to start with this junction. So at this junction, how many wires are going to be connected, or how many elements that you can see? One is 1.5 kilo ohm positive this end and 2.2 kilo ohm. Because it's a bilateral element, we can take any one of the end. And similarly, ammeter positive are connected at this junction. Suppose at this junction, if you observe, there are total 3 elements are connected. So the 3 elements I am going to connect now. So one is 1.5 kilo ohm resistor, that is my brown green black brown. So that I am connecting first 1.5 kilo ohm resistors. Like this we have to connect. So we should not place this one in the same vertical line. So if you made like that, that means it is a short circuit. So we should not make like that. And now we are going to connect 2.2 kilo ohm to be connected with our 1.5 kilo ohm. So let's say instead of saying plus minus, we can say starting end and ending end, and starting end and ending end. So ending end of our 1.5 is connected to starting end of 2.2. So at this junction, 2 elements are connected. Now what else to be connected? Ammeter positive. We can see here our ammeter positive is this. Okay. So just you can see clearly our ammeter positive is this. So my ammeter positive I am placing at the junction. Now at the junction, now I can see there are total 3 elements, 1.5, 2.2 and ammeter positive. Okay. Now next, ammeter negative. Okay, ammeter negative has to be placed in somewhere, not in the same vertical line, somewhere like I am taking here. So in series with this ammeter negative, means in connection with this ammeter negative, my 1 kilo ohm resistor, that is brown black black brown, is connected. So what about the other end of the 1 kilo ohm? It is connected with the ground. So I am making the ground here. So I am using. So now you can see the circuit. It looks like T shape. Okay, you can see this is looking like a T shape. So but only the thing is, instead of I am connecting this 1 kilo ohm directly, I am connecting an ammeter in series with my 1 kilo ohm because I want to measure the response in my 1 kilo ohm resistor. So that is why I have connected an ammeter in series with my 1 kilo ohm. Now apart from the sources, all the connections are made. You can see if I just remove the sources, I can see the circuit like this. So that is what the connection I made. Now I am going to connect my sources. Now this is my source 1 side and this is my source 2 side, that if I assume. So my source 1 positive. So this is my source 1 positive. So I can connect at the 1.5 kilo ohm starting end. You can see 1.5 kilo ohm, this is 1.5 kilo ohm, starting end means, so at this point, supply positive is connected, so this is supply positive. Which supply 1 positive, that is source 1 positive. And similarly source 2 positive, you can see this is source 2, and source 2 positive is connected at 2.2 kilo ohm. So here I need to connect source 2 positive. Connect means, so I have to place in the same vertical line. When these are said to be connected, when we place in the same vertical line, so in the same vertical line only if we place, then we can say they are connected. So now the negatives of supplies, you can see in the circuit, this is source 1 negative, source 2 negative, these both are connected to the ground. So this is a common path where we are making the ground. So this is our source 1 positive, we can see, and we are connecting to the ground. And similarly source 2 positive, source 2 negative, this is source 2 negative, I am connecting to my ground. So now all these are made completed, or connections are made, connections are completed, we can say the connections are completed. So how I made the connections, you can revise and you can see that. So this is my source 2 positive is connected with 2.2, source 1 positive is connected with 1.5, and these two are connected at the junction, and along with ammeter positive, and then ammeter negative is connected with my 1 kilo ohm, and then in the ground 3 terminals, the 3 connections, source 2 positive negative, source 1 negative, and 1 kilo ohm are connected to the ground. We can see the same horizontal line I have used to make the ground. After making the connections, so we need to turn off the supply to our ammeter as well as to RPS. So even if we turn on there, until we operate this power button, so we cannot get the RPS turned on. So we can see here power button is there, we have to make it turn on by using this. So after operating this only, our RPS is going to be turned on. So after we are turning it on, so and before that, some precautions when we are handling this, we have to make sure that, as I said in the earlier, so we can see voltage coarse and voltage fine. So these knobs should be in minimum. Okay, this is the minimum position I kept, and we have to keep in order to make it safe operation. So, and this one has to be at maximum position. Similarly on the right side in the channel 2, we can see voltage coarse, voltage fine, both are in minimum, and current limit should be in maximum. Okay. So after making confirmation, then only we have to turn it on. So after turning on, I am applying, so from channel 1, so now you can see the mode of operation is in channel 1. So this is indicating channel 1. So by keeping this in channel 1 mode, we have to apply 5 volts. So I am applying the voltage slowly. So exactly to 5 volts I need to set. So whenever we can see 4.8 or something like that, by using fine adjustment we can make it exactly to 5. So that is what the advantage of fine adjustment, we can set to the value exactly what we required. So as I am saying, from source 1 it is 5, and from source 2 means I have to shift this into channel 2 mode. After I am shifting into channel 2 mode, then only I have to apply from here. So from here I am going to apply 10 volts. Okay, the first reading we are taking when the source 1 is supplying 5 and when the source 2 is supplying 10. So in the source 2 I am applying 10 volts now by using voltage coarse and voltage fine knobs which are there on my source 2 side. Slowly we can apply up to maximum of 9.8 or 9.9 like that. So by using fine adjustment we can exactly set to, I am using fine adjustment here to set exactly to 10 volts. Okay, so after making this to 10 and channel 1, so it doesn't mean that channel 1 is not working. Channel 1 is also working, it is giving 5, and channel 2 is also working, it is giving 10. When these both are working, now in our circuit with these both are working, so that is our case 1. So we are getting a response flowing, that is current flowing through our 1 kilo ohm resistor, it is 3.7 volts. So make a note of it, 3.7 volts when channel 1 is giving, or source 1 is giving 5, source 2 giving 10. So source 1 is giving 5 and source 2 is giving 10. Now the second reading I am going to apply here. Similarly, now when it is in channel 2 mode. So in channel 2 mode, so according to this we can see that in the second step we have to apply 10 and 15. So what is my channel 2 value? 15. I need to set to the 15. So I am applying 15 by varying this voltage course now. Slowly I am applying 15. So after I am applying 15, so by using fine adjustment we can set exactly to 15. So after I am applying 15, so then what about my source 1? I need to apply 10. So I need to shift into source 1. So am I applying 10? No, I am applying only 5. Now I need to keep it to 10. Then only we have to note down the value of our ammeter or whatever the reading which we can see in our ammeter. So source 1 is supplying 10 and source 2 is supplying 15. Now in this case we are getting a response, or we can say the current in our selected element, that is 1 kilo ohm resistor, is of 6.3 milliamperes. Because we have selected the resistors in kilo ohms, we are going to get the current in milliamperes. Remember, because the resistors are in kilo ohms, current we will get in milliamperes. Because we know that I is equals to V by R. That 1 by kilo will become milli, that is 10 to the power minus 3, it will be milli. Now the third reading, when both the sources are working, the third reading also we can take. So that is, now it is in channel 2 mode, anyone, like if suppose if I can keep channel 1 mode and I can apply 15, because in step 3 we are applying 15 and 20. So channel 1 is giving 15 now, that is source 1 is going to give 15 now, and source 2 is going to give us 20. So from source 2 we have to apply 20 volts. So to get the 20, now source 2 is giving 20 and source 1 is giving 15. So as we can see, it is 15 and 20, but the response, that is current we are getting, is, we can take it as 8.9 milliamperes. Okay, 8.9 milliamperes. So this is when both the sources are working. Okay, when both the sources are working. Now we have to make the voltage to 0. After completing this step 1, we have to make the voltage to 0. So this is a mandatory, that is we have to make the voltage to 0, and then we have to remove the source 2. So let's say if it is, this is my source 2, then I am removing my source 2. So if I remove this source 2, that doesn't mean that I have removed the source 2 effect. Here I can see the open circuit, we have to make it short. So then only, according to our circuit, we have to make it short. Then only we can say that V2 is going to become 0. So to make that, I am taking another wire, and which is, I am going to connect in between the terminals where I have removed my source 2. So previously my source 2 will be in between these two terminals. So I made the short circuit. So I removed my source 2 and I made the short circuit. So as it is the ideal voltage source, we are making it short circuit. So by making this short circuit, now source 1 values I need to apply 5, 10, 15. So that values I am applying, and I am going to calculate the response. Now in this case, remember students, only one source is working, that is source 1 is working. Is my source 2 is going to work? So sorry, it has to be kept in channel 1 mode. So that things you have to remember, when we are applying from channel 1, we have to keep it in channel 1 mode, because our source 2 is entirely removed. And so now channel 1, that is source 1 is giving us 5 volts. For 5 volts we got the response 1.5. Okay, note down that current reading is 1.5 when the supply is given 5 volts. Okay, now I am going to apply it to, or I am going to increase it to 10 volts, because the second reading we are going to take, according to this, the source 1 value is 10. So I am going to apply 10 here. What about source 2? Source 2 will be 0. In this case the source 2 will be 0. Now it is 10, that source 1 is giving 10, source 2 is giving 0, means source 2 is removed already. So we are getting a response of 3.1. Okay, 3.1. Now after we are also going for third reading, that is 15. Source 1 is supplying 15. When source 1 is supplying 15, so the response we are getting in our ammeter, we can see it is about 4.7 milliamperes. Okay, now this is when only source 1 is working. Now the third case, I am coming to the third case, when only source 2 is working alone. Okay, when only source 2 is working alone, that means I have to remove my source 1. I have to remove my source 1. So before that I need to make 0. And we have to turn it off. And then, so whenever we are turning it off and on, or whenever we are making some switching operations, remember every time we should make the voltage 0 and we should turn off, and then only we have to shift. So here simply, so I can see here, this is my channel 1 or source 1. Okay, so I am removing source 1. Okay, and so this is our circuit. So I am connecting my source 2. So source 2 can be taken this or can be also taken this, no problem, because only we need one source in this case. So source 2 positive I am connecting to my 2.2, and source 2 negative I am connecting to the ground. So because previously it is here, so no need to remove this source to ground. Actually you can see this circuit we are going to design. Now the source 1 has to be removed. Now the source 1 is removed. So this source 1 has to be made short circuited. So we are connecting now the wire on the where the previously the source 1 is. So this is making the short circuit of source 1. So this circuit exactly looks like this circuit. So on source 1 side it is made short circuited. Now the source 2 is acting. Now when the source 2 is acting, so again turn it on and keep it in channel 2 mode. Why? Because we connected in channel 2. Okay, why? Because we connected in channel 2. Keep it in channel 2 mode and now apply their values. So we can see the values. Source 1 values are 0, 0, 0. Now at this time only source 2 is working. Now in this case it is 10, 15, 20 we need to apply. So these values we should not change from the starting case, that is 10, 15, 20. Source 1 is 0 but source 2 is the same values, that is 10, 15, 20. Don't change the values 10, 15 other than 10, 15, 20. Now if I apply 10, what kind of response I am going to get in my ammeter, that I am going to note down. Now source 2 is giving 10, source 1 is removed, source 2 is giving 10, so that I need to apply 10 from my source 2. So source 2 is supplying 10. I got the response as 3.1. 2.1. So it's 2.1. Okay. Now previously we got 1.5 and this 2.1. If you add together, you will get around 3.6. So in the first case we got 3.7. So like they are approximately equal. So likewise we will compare for all the readings later. Now first let we do the experiment first. So then after 10, so we need to apply 15 from our source 2. Again I am repeating, source 1 is 0, source 2 is 15. Now source 2 is 15 means, so I have to set for 15 volts. So after applying 15, so the response I am getting in my ammeter is 3.2. You can see the 3.2 milliamperes. Now the last reading I am going to apply 20 volts from my source 2. 20 volts from my source 2. So I am going to get, if I apply 20 volts, so I am going to get the current in my ammeter, or current flowing through my 1 kilo ohm resistance, is 4.3 milliamperes. So 4.3 milliamperes. So this is in the third case. Now in the second case, whatever the reading we get, if I add just that value to this, so then you will get the first reading or first case value, or the first case one, whatever the value you got, so that you will get. So likewise we will verify the superposition theorem for different readings. Why? Because at least we will get one or two readings same. So without having any 0.1 differences also we can get if we do it very perfectly. So this is all about our superposition theorem. So now whenever we are turning it off, remember we have to make again the voltage knob to 0, because to safe operating is required and mandatory here. So we have to operate it safely. So in order to avoid the damage to the components, so we can see now the voltage is made 0 and we have to turn it off here first. We have to turn off here and then we have to turn off the supply to the meter. Okay, and remove the wires or remove the connections what we made, remove the connections. Okay, and safely handle the or hand over the components. So like this, for every experiment we need to turn off or turn on by making it minimum position or by bringing it to the initial conditions. So we have to remove the connecting wires and we have to take the components safely and to be handed over. So this is how we'll do it for the every experiment almost. Okay, thank you all.